Hey everyone, welcome back to Me and Paul's channel. I'm so excited to have you here, the virtual investor. So today we're going to talk about, how we quickly analyze comps. So we're looking at a bunch of properties in different states through online REO auctions, and not to waste an agent's time or our time, spend a lot of the time comping a property. There's ways that we could quickly look at a property in like 30 seconds to 60 seconds to say, hey, this isn't a deal. I'm not even gonna bother reaching out to a local agent or further analyzing the property. So I'm gonna kind of give you 4 criteria that we look at. The first one here is what we call no deal due to lack of comps. So me and Paul purchased in rural areas across the country. I mean, we've purchased in towns as small as like 1,000 people. However, there was data there for us to validate our decision. So I'll kind of give you an example here where we had a property in a small town, and you basically see, I filtered on my criteria. It was 1,100 square foot house. So, I'm looking at houses only up to 1,200 square feet. I zoomed out to the last 12 months just to get more data. And you can kind of see here that there's only 4 properties available for sale in this large geographic area. So the question is like, how far do we zoom out? And for a lot of these types of properties, what we do is, given the lack of data, we just skip them and not come back unless we have done a deal already that area or know an agent or a fellow investor friend in that area. Paul, want to add anything to that?
Yeah, you don't want to reinvent the wheel, and things can get too rural. Like this one here was a tougher one. We had to hold on to this property for a little while. It just took a lot longer. We thought, even though we had data that showed we could sell it for a certain amount, it just gets really tough when you get too rural and there's not enough comps. We're just looking for enough sales, knowing that, all right, there is activity here and we can buy something and sell it and not hang on it for 6, 8, 9 months.
Yeah, great. All right, so we're going to move to the second example now. So that's a lack of comps. This one is no deal due to foundation issues, right? Now if you're local and you want to deal with this, it's not a problem. We've dealt with this remotely. We've done one in Casper, Wyoming 2 years ago with 70K in foundation issues. However, most of the time we shy away from them if it's not a market we want. So I'm going to kind of give us an example here of a local auction property where we looked at and we decided to skip. And, this website doesn't allow you to zoom in more to the picture, but we'll bear with us here. You'll start seeing some of the analysis once we get to the interior of the house. But as we were looking at this property, Paul, so far, everything looked good from it.
That's good.
It was reasonably priced. We started doing some analysis, and then it's tough to see here, but I'll zoom in a little bit. You can start seeing, okay, it might not be nothing major, just one crack so far. More exterior photos. Again, bathroom, nothing terrible there. Seems okay. Then the photographer keeps pointing out these large cracks. This is in the bathroom. At a minimum, it's like a 1-inch separation easily. So that's, a little concerning. Again, another room with large separation. So we're starting to add another piece to the puzzle here. Again, really nice looking kitchen. You kind of see some separation up here again as well. And then again, another room with a bunch of separation. And then another room with a bunch of separation.
That's big right there.
Yeah. So clearly, is the house sinking? And another room with a large separation. So the question is, and again, another room. So there's more pictures. You get the point. I think I'm not going to go through the rest of the pictures, but essentially what me and Paul did was, we hasn't purchased in this town before. It was a marginal deal to be a wholesale as best. If it's got foundation issues, we don't know what that number is. It could be another 25, 30K easily. So we're not even gonna waste our time with it to reach out to an agent. So this is an example of a foundation one where we're probably not gonna touch.
No deal. This is a no deal example where you just don't want to go in, especially remotely. There's just too many unknowns. And basically you can look at it like you're buying something for land value. But if you're buying something for land value, there's more than that with this, because now you've got a demo house, which could cost you $15,000 to $20,000 to demo the house and then get the soil set so you can build again.
Yep. All right. So that's an example of no deal foundation issues. And the third example is no deal tear down. Again, some people love these. They tear down properties and build up something new and nice. This isn't the type of town that you're doing that in. Right. So, this is the photos from Zillow. It's down from the auction site already. But on the outside at first, you're like, okay. And then the back looks pretty terrible, boarded up, siding's coming off, at least the paint. This is another angle that doesn't look promising. And you're looking at the interior, there looks like still water here and just, who knows what else going on, where this is a full gut. And at some point is, okay, the cost of repairs might be easier just to knock this thing down essentially into what the value you're going to get out of it. So in an example like this, me and Paul, again, we just spent 20 seconds on the review right now saying, hey, we're going to skip this one, no deal. We're not going to reach out to an agent. We're not going to further evaluate because it doesn't meet our philosophy. Now it might make sense for you, but from the average virtual investor, where we target wholesales and wholesales, this one really doesn't make sense for us.
Yeah, I mean, with this and this market, it wasn't like you could really force appreciation, right? Do a major rehab on here and get the value. The value's just not there. It's too low. So this just ends up being not worth it. It's a no deal.
Yep. And then the last one is, this one is what we call come back later when we're monitoring our properties. And here's an example where we knew the property, and we'll go here. So these are easy to comp as long as you have comps in these things, all right? They're all built the same style. It's a condo townhome community, whatever you want to call it, in Florida. And this property needs a full rehab. And a property this size is just under 1,000 square feet where you don't have to touch the exterior. You're going to do like a 40K interior full rehab on this property. Here's the pictures. The bank already started some renovation. There must have been some kind of leak in there where they cut half the wall out type of thing.
Yeah.
And in some rooms, full wall. But this is a total full rehab. You're not going to need sheetrock and everything else. So, we knew we'd be all into it for, call it 40K. And knowing that, we found comps where we're fixed up nicely, we're going to get 200K. So if our end number is 200K, we got to put 40K into it. When we factor in closing costs, holding costs, et cetera, and profit, we knew we'd be okay with the 95 on this number. And at the time, and we'll see what it is now. Okay, this auction ended, but at the time, this property I think was already up to like 110 or 120 range.
Yeah.
So we said, we're not going to bid on it. We're not going to reach out to an agent yet to confirm. We're going to monitor it. And every week when it comes back on auction again, or every 2 weeks, we'll continue to look at it. If the opening bid gets down to that 95 number, we're going to bid on it, talk to a local agent, et cetera. So these are one of the things where you continue to come back and monitor these type of properties. But we didn't spend too much time on it because we quickly knew rough numbers here. We found an easy comp real quick. We knew it would take 40K to renovate. We knew it was 95, but we quickly saw at the time when we looked at it, it was 110, 120. Not a deal right now. So come back and monitor for more analysis.
Yeah, this is a great example, Mike, of just being patient, right? You don't want to force a deal. You got your maximum allowable number, right? You know what your maximum allowable offer is. So you don't want to ever push beyond that. It's going to come back. These things come back a lot. And Mike and I have talked about this in the past. We've gotten deals way cheaper than we thought by just being patient. Sometimes you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get this thing at 95. Next thing you know, you end up getting it at 80, 85, and your margins are even higher because the bank reduces their threshold. Each time they drop their threshold, that's more and more profit for you. So you got to look at it and stay patient and stick with your numbers and be diligent. Yeah.
Great points, Paul. Well, folks, if you have any questions, feel free to add them in this comment section below. We'll answer your questions. And if you got some value out of this video, please like and subscribe this video as well. Thanks everyone, and have a great day.
Thanks, guys.